Well, here we go. In the lead up to Women's Day, early March, funny girl, author. Now we hear farmer. We'll talk about that. Connecting with me straight from the heartland of Gurgaon. Let's welcome, and look what the wind carried right in, Radhika Vaz. Woohoo!
Hi, Erica. Oh my God. It feels like a long lost sister reunion, man.
Doesn't it just? It's been forever. I must
It
say,
has been.
looking
It's been
at
too
you,
long.
you're still, what's the word? Wispy, still very unladylike, I'm gathering. All your bad habits intact? I'm just asking.
Intact, all intact, all intact. I
Good to
change for
know.
no man.
As we should all. But emerging from the, clutches of the pandemic, like all of
Yes,
us, we've been scathed by it to different levels. And here we are to tell our story. So welcome back. I must say, we need a vacation to shake off the last few years, right?
I know. I'm so glad to be back. And actually, I did go on vacation. I did one good thing during like I would say there was pandemic and then now we live in post-pandemic. So
Yeah.
I did my post-pandemic girls trip.
Nice. Well, do share, do share.
So I did a post-pandemic girls trip, and when I say girls, I use that word loosely. It was like 50-year-old girls. Okay, it was 50-year-old girls going on a school reunion. So many of us hadn't seen each other for like 35 years. Very
What?
excited about it. Yeah, I know. Can you imagine? But that's how long ago I was in school, Erica.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
I don't want to get into further mathematical detail. All right.
exactly.
I don't.
Let's
I'd
not
rather
date
not.
ourselves where that's concerned. But
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
so
I think I just did. I think I dated
yeah.
myself. But anyway, so we go, so we go on this trip, and the older I get, the younger I want people to think I am. I mean, it's sort of the reverse thing. When you're 17, you want people to think you're 25. When you're 50, you want them to think you're 25. 25 is the magic number. Just all of us should be 25 forever.
Gotta
So
agree,
we go on
gotta
this
agree.
trip and hanging out with my friends. And the thing is that, I wasn't looking 25, but I started feeling really young because it was all, girls from like school and talking stupid stuff about when we were young. And so I'm really in this like really young frame of mind, right? And on the last night, I was in charge of sort of setting up the evening. So I go to the bar with another friend of mine. It was a poolside bar. We were pretty friendly with the barkeep, really sweet guy called Gerard. And Gerard, and this is in Goa, by the way. So Gerard and all of us are like, hey man, high five, all that stuff. So I go there and I'm sort of sorting out the food and whatever. And we're like, let's have a quick drink before everyone shows up.
Right.
So, and Gerard's like 25. So he asks us, he says, so what do you want to drink? And I very flirtatiously, because I'm 25, you see, at this point in my
Yeah.
mind, I say, why don't you suggest something, Gerard? And Gerard looks at me and says, it's your last night, right? And so my friend and I go, yes. And then he says, then you should do shots. At
Right.
which point I forgot that I was 25 and my 50-year-old self came stumbling out. And I was like, no, 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 I'm too old for shots, which is the truth. And then Jared looks me in the eye, Erica, and he says,
Right.
no, ma'am. And I'm expecting him to say, you're not old. And he says, even my grandmother still does shots with her friends. I know, you can't even
Burn.
laugh. It was like an arrow in the heart. Like I feel when you've been compared to someone's grandmother, that's another level, dude.
That's
That's
like
another level.
nail in the coffin, so to speak.
That's it's
Quite
it.
literally.
I'm dead and buried. I'm dead and buried on the girls trip in Goa.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I mean, you're meeting these girls after 30 odd years. What were your
Yeah.
first reactions? Like, oh my God, she's packed on the kilos. Oh my God, she's old, she's young. What was that feeling?
I'll tell you what it was. It was so amazing because I think what happens when you grew up together, and we went to boarding school together. Okay, so
Oh,
this is
yeah.
a group of girls who not only went to school together, went to boarding school together. So we were like literally like siblings. I mean, we all stayed in the same rooms. We used the same toilets. We shared the same clothes. It was like a very different relationship. So before we got there, it was really funny because everybody was sending messages back and forth because this is in Goa, right? It's like, guys, I don't think I can wear a swimsuit and I gained a lot of weight. Like everyone's coming clean about the whole like
Yeah.
body situation. They're like, listen, I mean, dude, like I can't take off my track pants, and someone else like, I'm not taking off my kaftan. I'm getting in the ocean fully clothed. Like, don't be looking at me sideways. It was, and the thing too is that you always look like you look the first time you saw someone, right? So, like to
Yeah.
me, you're always going to look the way you looked 10 years ago when I first met you, like regardless of what you look to somebody else today. So I
Right.
feel like that was kind of in play even then. Yeah, sure, some people, we've gained weight, we've got some wrinkles, we've got some sun patches, stretch marks. It's all there, but it's all good when you're with your girlfriends, at the end of the
Seriously.
day.
Yeah, I mean,
At the end of the day.
it doesn't matter. Nobody uses filters, right? Because
No,
there you go, letting it all hang out.
totally.
Yeah, your body basically becomes this whole map of your life.
Yeah, it does. And I think have pride in it, that's something I'm beginning to embrace a little bit as I get older. I mean, I still want to look 25, but I know that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
And so, it's okay. I can admire 25-year-olds from a distance. So I'm not a total creep.
yeah.
And
So long as they're not
and go
Gerard,
on.
so long as they're not Gerard the bartender.
I think Gerard, the bartender, made himself very clear. I don't think I don't think there was any room for misinterpretation.
Yeah. Radhika, it's been so cool to catch up with you. I'm going to do this every week because I just love having you on the show and just love having this conversation. And as we wrap up, right, quickly, maybe some hacks or go-to places for girls on vacay. I'm saying girls because at the end of it, we're still girls, right? Girls on vacay.
Okay,
Where would you like to go? Holiday hotspots.
I'm telling you, Goa, okay, because it's in India, so you don't need any travel documentation, all
Yeah.
right, and it is the most fun place for women because you can just be a group of women and no one looks at you like you're strange. You can wear what you want, you can do what you want. I'm a little bit partial to South Goa because I feel like it's not crowded and it's not sort of super touristy.
Yeah.
Although in the season, everything's touristy. So go a little bit off season. We went in the early part of October. Weather was beautiful. There weren't that many people there. Yeah,
Yeah, I have to
that's my
agree.
hot
Yeah.
tip.
Goa for Gerard the bartender, for the yogis, for cocktails by sunset, and of course, if you want to learn to speak Russian, I think Goa is a good place to be.
It is indeed.
For now, I mean, we know how quote unquote unladylike you can be, and it takes some skill. It's a skill that you still have, and the fact is that you're still married and you're keeping a husband, which is great. Many ladies would like you to share some hacks, Radhika. Would you be the person to go to?
Oh my God. Erica, I literally am probably the worst person. I think I've kept my husband at gunpoint. Let's put it that way. Buy a gun, ladies, point it at his face and be like, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I think, you know what it is? I don't know. I mean, I don't think there are any hacks. I think marriage is such a difficult thing to do. I just think the longer you've been in a marriage, the more you know that that's true, And I was just
Mm-hmm.
thinking the other day, actually, when I knew that I was going to come on air and have a chat with you. I was just thinking about how now I meet so many younger couples. And one of the things I love to do when I meet couples is try and figure out how long they're married.
Yeah.
And I have a theory about this on how to figure out how long people have been married. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is a young relationship or an old relationship? So I don't think it has that much to do with how many years you've been married, like a young relationship versus an old relationship. I think it has to do with the tone of voice with which you speak to your spouse.
Right.
Okay. So
Okay.
it's the tone of voice that you use when you hear your name being called by your spouse. So if your spouse calls your name and you go, yes, babe, then I'm going to say 18 months. 18 months, maybe 24 months, they're fresh, they're new, right? But if you hear your name called and you go, what do you want?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to say 10 to 12 years, 2 kids, both kids under the age of 10.
Yeah.
That's, and then of course, if the response is, oh, Jesus, then you're 25 years in, grown up children, the kids are grown, the kids are flown. You don't even care to respond at this point. These are the things that I worry myself with. This is what I think about day and night now.
Truth bombs, Radhika. You're just dropping them. Can we change the rules around? Can we mandate that this should be the case going forward? The powers that be going to listen to us. And who made these rules anyway? Who made them? The lifelong relationship.
Who made them and who's upholding them? Exactly. They said, remember, it's the whole thing. It's like, they say, every time I'm having a conversation with people, it's like, they say, they said it. hundreds of years ago, and we're still upholding it. I
Yeah.
think we have to change everything.
Right. I can see that your mind's ticking like crazy, and we have lots more of these conversations to be had right here on 94.3 Radio 1. Looking forward to our next one, Radhika Vaz. I know you're going to be in Mumbai City in March for Women's Day celebrations and all of that. We'll have more details on that. But to my Radio 1 listener, we want to get in touch with Radhika. She's so insane and she's she's brilliant. I love her. It's Radhika Vaz. That's a handle on Insta.
Thank you, Erica.